Welcome back, Canisius College. This is #Griff Sports. I'm Kyle Ferrara, today rejoined by
Roxy Hernandez. Today we'll take you through the MAC Power Rankings to see if the Griffs have climbed back into the top 3 following wins against Niagara and Siena, and we'll preview their upcoming matchup with the Quinnipiac Bobcats.
We'll also preview this spring sports season for you. We have interviews lined up with Vince Gravino, Maria Kotis, and Ron Pierce. But first, if you weren't at Niagara last Friday, I have to ask you why not. The Griffs, despite being outplayed by the Purple Eagles for the entire first half and much of the second, came back to beat their arch rivals 71-65. Billy Barron, of course, put up phenomenal numbers, scoring 34 points to go along with 6 boards and 5 assists. But the Griffs wouldn't have gotten the W had it not been for Chris Perez. Perez came to the rescue, scoring 10 of his 17 in the second half. He also played phenomenal defense against lethal scoring threat Antoine Mason.
The 2 senior guards were terrific, but head coach Jim Barron said that after the game, the team found a way to win for their teammate, senior Chris Manhertz, who did not make the trip with a broken nose. The team was also without Manhertz on Sunday when they took on Siena, and they needed all hands on deck for a triple overtime thriller against the Saints. The Griffs earned the 92-88 win behind 2 Billy Barron career highs. He had 40 points and 10 rebounds. Both numbers are career bests.
And so, as the Griffs get ready to take on Quinnipiac tonight, a few questions remain. Will they need another outstanding showing from Barron to get their 3rd straight victory? And what about the status of Chris Manhertz? For all that and more, we turn to Studio B, where Jordan LaBarber and John Langley are standing by.
Yeah, I'm Jordan LaBarber, and I'm here with John Langley, our resident basketball experts. Let's get off to, we didn't have a lot of change at the top of the MAC this week. What are the power rankings looking like?
Well, 4 stay the same. Iona, Manhattan, Quinnipiac, Canisius, all top 4. They stay the same. They all won. 5 is still Rider, and 6 is Marist. They've wiggled their way into the top 6. Siena lost both games this weekend. Close margins, but they dropped 1 spot, and that's probably how it'll be the rest of the year. That's how I expect it to stay.
Now, Canisius is currently in a tie in 3rd with Quinnipiac, and they got a little bit of cushion over Rider, but they're playing to stay out of that 4th spot. Talk a little bit about the importance. I know we've discussed it before, but now that it's reality with them, playing Quinnipiac at the Kessler Center tonight, how big is this game?
It's huge. Nobody wants to be in the 4 and 5 matchup because, as I've said before, when you drop down to that 4 to 5 game, just like last year with Canisius, they had a chance on the final game to go into the 4 and 5 matchup. They played Iona and they lost, and that if they don't play anyone by Iona, they win. And that's the tough part about being in the 4 to 5 game because both teams are evenly matched. You get in the 3 versus 6 game, it's an easier matchup because think about it. Who would you rather play, Rider or Marist? I mean, it's a pretty easy decision if you ask me.
One person will be in the lineup against Quinnipiac tonight, which happens to be, by the way, the #1 rebounding team in the country, is Chris Manhertz. Nick Veronica, my predecessor, reported a couple days ago he was returning to practice. Today we confirmed he will dress. Talk about what he brings to this team. How important it is to have him back in the lineup?
Well, it was evident against Niagara. They got out-rebounded by a team that's really not as big as them. They have no business getting out-rebounded like that. And Manhertz brings a toughness aspect to the team. Yeah. He's going to get you the rebounds. He'll get you the points you need. He averages 8 a game. He'll probably get his 6 to 8 points a game just chipping in. But he's there for the rebounds. He's there to be tough on defense. He takes the strongest guy on the opposing team. And it was noticeably different without him in the lineup the last 2 weeks and half of the Manhattan game. It was tough not having him. And Kevin Bleeker is he's a good player. He's a developing player, but he's not Chris Manhertz. Very different players. So, especially against Quinnipiac, this is a big addition back, even if he is at, say, 70%.
And 4 games remaining. The 2 this weekend will be the last for Manhertz and his 3 fellow seniors, Chris Perez, Billy Barron, Jordan Heath at the Kessler Center. Let's talk about the seniors a little bit. In your opinion, who do you think besides Billy Barron, which of course goes without saying, who's the most important senior on this team? Who's that X factor of that senior class?
If you'd asked me earlier in the year, I would have said Jordan Heath. Now I'm going to tell you Chris Perez, because now that he's playing his game, he's being aggressive, he's going off the dribble and attacking the basket, he's putting up big points. He's put up 20-plus points in the last 2 or 3 games. And he's really helped. 17 points against Niagara to help. And it's been huge for the Griffins. They've needed him, and he's stepped up. He's actually hitting decently from outside behind the arc too. He's not taking more than 2 or 3 a game, but he's hitting them when he gets the chance. So I think it's Chris Perez, but you can make an argument for all of them.
And something goes a little bit unheralded with Chris Perez, but something that Billy mentions at each post game is that defense. He takes the number one guy in the opposing team every night, and that really showed against Anton Mason. He really locked him down. Real quick, predictions for this weekend. Any idea what you think is going to happen?
I don't like making predictions, but I think they win both. I think they win tonight, and I think they beat. I think Fairfield's a given. Nothing's really a given, but I think that's a game they really don't lose. But Quinnipiac's a tougher matchup. But with Manhurts coming back, it gives them not so much even the rebounding aspect, it's the depth aspect. It's not as many tired legs underneath, and if you're in foul trouble, you've got Bleeker's been getting better with each game. He made a big shot against Siena, so I think depth-wise it just really helps, and I think Canisius pulls it out.
And in his last game at the Kessler Center, what does Billy Barron do?
On Saturday, ooh, he'll go for 35 points at least, I'll say, probably.
You heard it here first. 35 points from Billy Barron, his last game at the Kessler Center. Will be at 2 o'clock against Fairfield Saturday afternoon. And for now, we're back to Kyle and Roxanne.
Thanks, Jordan and John. The Griffs only have 4 regular season games left. Depending on what their postseason fate is, we might have to find something new to talk about in the upcoming weeks. To get us primed for that, we're going to dive into the hashtag Griff Sports Spring Sports Preview. Don't miss it when we come back.
There was one day that we had just done the cardiovascular unit, in class that day. And then right after class, I went over to the Vascular Institute, volunteered, put the scrubs on. And one of the doctors asked me if I wanted to see an open heart surgery. And so I said, yeah, really? Sure.
I came into Canisius as obviously as a freshman, not really sure what I wanted to do. I ended up taking a digital media arts class, and that really just kind of jump-started, my career.
And I think being where we are in the city and in the world with the medical campus that we have here is really an opportunity that I wouldn't have anywhere else.
It's more than just academics. Meet different people. Go out and do things. There's so much more to college. It's an experience.
I instantly fell in love with doing video work, graphic design. I started pursuing more and more opportunities in the school, whether it was doing admissions videos on the sides. I did a couple videos for alumni relations, the president of the college, and then I actually got noticed last year, and they sent me over to the Philippines to create a feature-length documentary.
I lived with the host family while I took classes in Spanish with Spanish professors at the University of Oviedo, and I was a Spaniard for a semester, and it was the best decision I made as a college student.
You're watching hashtag Griff Sports. Kyle and Rox back here at the desk with you. Roxy, what do you say we recap the rest of the weekend really quick?
Sure thing, Kyle. We'll start with hockey. The Ice Griffs started the weekend right, shutting out Air Force 4-0 on Friday night. They had 4 goals from 4 different players. Unfortunately, they couldn't keep it going on Saturday, losing 4-2. Patrick Sullivan and Cody Freeman had the 2 Griffs goals.
Women's basketball also split their 2 weekend matchups, falling to Manhattan 52-44 on Thursday before beating Siena on Saturday 75-66 behind Tia Mills' 16 points and 7 assists.
And the Griffs baseball team started season off right as well, beating a top 10 North Carolina State team 3-0 on Sunday. Junior starting pitcher Ron Pierce threw 7 shutout innings, striking out 6 and outdueling the country's top prospect, Wolfpack starting pitcher Carlos Rodon. They lose the second game of the series 11-4 before beating North Carolina 15-7.
The men's lacrosse team started its season with a win for the first time since 2002. They beat Boston University 9-3 behind sophomore Vince Gravino's 4 goals.
And finally, the women's lacrosse team took on the first and second ranked teams in the country. They lost to number 2 Syracuse 18-6 on Sunday and to number 1 North Carolina 24-6 on Wednesday. We'll tell you more about those 2 games later on.
But first, we're going to begin our spring sports preview, starting with the defending MAC champion baseball team. Earlier this week, I talked with Griffs ace Ron Pierce about the team's expectations and his dominant outing against NC State on Sunday. Kyle Ferrara for hashtag Griff Sports. I'm here with Griffs pitcher Ron Pierce. Ron, your season just got underway, and the team's coming off, a very exciting MAC championship last year. What's your outlook team-wise? What are your goals?
our goals are the same day one this year as they were day one last year. We want to try and get to a regional. We got a taste of it last year. We enjoyed it. And, ever since practice in the fall started, ever since the last game last year, we just want to get back on the field and keep pursuing that dream of going to a regional again and hopefully, winning at a regional and maybe advancing to a super regional. That's the goal since day one for this team, and that's what we've been working forward all year.
What about for yourself? What do you hope to accomplish?
For myself, it's the same as the team goals. I want to do whatever I can and perform to the best of my ability to get the team back to a MAC championship and back to a regional and a chance to just be competitive at the national level, definitely.
You had an outstanding performance down in Carolina this last weekend, 7 shutout innings. What was it like being on the hill?
Honestly, I think all the guys, and myself included, we just want to get out and play. There were some rain delays. The weather kind of didn't help us out, but we were all itching to play. And for me, I just wanted to go out there and just do the best I could and just play hard. And I think it was good just to get out there and play. And I just tried to keep the ball low, hit my spots, and just throw the ball and see what happened.
You have a huge role as a starter this year. You've never really been a starter, at least for this team in the past. So what's gone into the development to get you to this point?
Just hard work. Just work every day. I mean, the past couple of years, I've just been working to try and be a starter, and it just didn't work out. There was guys that stepped up and performed and did great last year, and it just didn't work out for that. But this year, I've just been trying over the summer. I've just trying to work hard, and I know that we lost Garrett last year, the starter, and I knew that there was a spot available. That there was going to be a weekend spot available, and I knew that if this team was going to do well, it was going to be on the starters, and I'm one of them. So I tried to step up and do what I could and work as hard as I could to make this team better.
And back here in studio, Jordan LaBarber at the desk with me. You just talked basketball. Let's talk some baseball now.
Okay.
You're taking over the beat for the Griffin, and they got off to a 2-1 start over the weekend. Ron Pierce looks pretty great, huh?
Absolutely, he did. He was named National Player of the Week. He was named MAC Player of the Week. 7 innings. We got 6 strikeouts compared to only 5 hits against the nationally ranked team, and the first nationally ranked victory in the history of the program. So just a huge start to the season for a team that's the reigning champs in the MAC and expecting to repeat this year.
I know he's somebody that's going to have to step up because they don't have Garrett Courtwright in that starting rotation anymore. They've got Alex Godzak, who did a really very good job his freshman year. He's looking to step up as well.
Yeah.
Who are some of the key losses coming into this year?
Well, you mentioned Courtwright. Courtwright moved on to the Baltimore Orioles organization. He was taken in the MLB entry draft. He's the big loss in the starting rotation. He's one of 2 big arms that they lost. They also lost closer John Fitzsimmons. So you take him out of the bullpen, you take Courtwright out of the starting lineup, and you see that they got some holes to fill on the pitching staff. Now, looks like Pierce is going to go a long way to helping out Godzak the same way Godzak helped Courtwright last season. But then filling that last spot remains to be seen who is the 3rd starter.
What about in the lineup now? How are the Griffs looking offensively?
Well, offensively, they return the majority of their players. They did lose their catcher, Brooklyn Foster. He was the 2nd leading hitter last year. He batted .360. Now it looks like they're going to kind of split. They have junior Mike Booth. He started 2 of the games this weekend. He started the first game, the win against NC State, and the win against North Carolina Central. But they also seem to be high on freshman Chris Conley. He went 2 for 4 in his first start in that 2nd game in the loss to NC State. So I'm expecting him to get some playing time. Like I said, Coach McCray really seems to be behind him. Expect to see a lot of him.
Well, overall, what should these expectations be? They're one of 2 spring sports that are coming off a MAC championship along with women's lacrosse. Can we expect them to do it again?
Well, they do have high expectations. Jimmy Lupins was picked for MAC Player of the Year. They were picked to repeat in the Coaches Bowl, to repeat as MAC champions. And, McCray told me, he said, honestly, he doesn't like coming in with these expectations. He prefers to go in as the underdog, have nobody expect them to do anything, and then they can just go about their business the way you put it and take care of it. That being said, I think they seem ready. I think they came out and proved it against NC State. Jimmy Lupins told me they got their head in, and they don't want to just win a MAC championship, and that's what McCray mentioned too. They want to go further. You saw they almost beat North Carolina in their first game of the NCAA tournament last year. I think they got their expectations set a little higher, and I definitely think they have the ability to repeat.
Well, we'll see what's in store for them coming up. We're going to talk some lacrosse. Maria Kotis, senior captain of the women's lacrosse team, will be in studio here on #Griff Sports.
We're over here in Studio B with Maria Kotis, senior captain and midfielder on the women's lacrosse team. Maria, you guys had another successful year last year, winning the 3rd straight MAC championship, being the first team in the league to do that. What are some of your overall expectations of the team this season?
As for expectations, we want to win another MAC championship, but our ultimate goal is to advance in the NCAA tournament. We won that MAC tournament 3 years in a row, so now we're trying to take that next step and get national recognition.
Okay, and you and the team faced 2 very good teams this past weekend, Syracuse and UNC. Unfortunately, couldn't come out with the wins. What do you take away from that experience of playing the teams going ahead in the season?
It was definitely a learning experience, but I think it boosts our confidence. When you play those teams, the game's just a lot faster, but we're not scared to play anybody else because we've seen the best. So I think when we play the other ranked teams on our schedule, like Boston College and Ohio State, we're going to be more confident, and that's not going to be an issue anymore.
Yeah. You personally have had a lot of success. You were named co-player of the year along with one of your teammates. What are some of the secrets to your success and some of your some things that help you become an offensive threat?
I think what's helped is every season I've been here, we've won Offensive Player of the Year. So I know what to expect, and Coach Teeter's pushing me every day, but I also couldn't do it without my teammates who are there holding me accountable and making sure I bring it every day.
So what are some personal goals and expectations of yourself for this upcoming season, senior season, last go? What do you think?
Definitely, I want to break all my career goals and records. I need to do that so that we can win the MAC championship again and hopefully advance.
Okay. Well, you heard it here in Studio B. I'm Roxanne. This is Maria Kotis, and we're going to take it back to Kyle and Jordan at the desk.
Thanks, Roxy. Great stuff from Maria Kotis. Jordan, sorry to cut you off here. We're kind of trading roles, huh? Because we just talked baseball. You're our beat writer for the Griffin. Of course, not to toot my own horn. I do a splendid job writing men's lacrosse for the Griffin.
He does a fantastic job.
How's this going to work? You're going to host the show for a segment.
I'm going to host the show. I'm going to interview you. What I say goes. About the men's lacrosse team. They're coming off, a year where they won the MAC championship 2 years ago. Last year they had a down season. What's the storyline heading into this year for this team?
Well, the thing about that team last year was they were so youthful and didn't have the experience that they had the year prior when they won the MAC championship. And a lot of guys had to grow into roles really fast, such as Vince Gravino, who our own CJ Gates talked to earlier this week. And before we go any further with that, why don't we show that interview?
Absolutely.
I'm CJ Gates reporting for #Griff Sports here with men's lacrosse player Vince Gravino. Vince, you opened the season on this past Saturday against Boston University with a big win over them. Talk about your performance and the team's performance.
It was kind of a team performance. We wanted to go into Boston and really get a first win, and we did, so that was good for the team. The offense was clicking. We were moving the ball, and I don't know, I just kind of netted 4 there. Well, thanks to my team, of course.
Looking forward to the rest of the season, what should Griff fans expect from the team?
I should expect a high-tempo offense and a really lockdown defense. Our defense is probably the heart of the team this year, and we're really looking forward to seeing what the defense can do and kind of how far they'll take us this year.
Looking at the performance that Alex Giovanetti had in net, what does that do for the team when you have someone like that?
Oh, that's huge. I mean, when you have a goalie that can make those saves and push transition, it just opens up a whole new level of play for us, and it'll help us out against a higher competition like Cornell, Denver, Air Force. So we really look forward to seeing how he plays out this year.
And then finally, you're entering your sophomore season. How does this season compare to last season preparing for it?
It's a lot different. I would say I gained a lot of experience over the offseason. I kind of got more comfortable in the play of the game and how the flow of the game is going. So, and I've gotten more used to my teammates around me because we are a young team, and we've been together now for about 2 years. So everything's about gelling and getting chemistry, and I think we're really coming along at that stage of the game here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
He's Vince Gravino from the men's lacrosse team. I'm CJ Gates reporting for #GriffSports.
And that was Vinny Gravino along with CJ Gates. So now shifting over to you, Kyle. Talk about some of the key losses for this year's team.
Well, if you look at the senior class from last year, it wasn't that large. Not that the seniors who were here weren't good and impactful, but there just weren't a lot of them. The biggest loss, I think, is midfielder Joe Rautenschott. But he's still around. He's coaching on a volunteer basis under head coach Randy Mearns. And his experience over the last 4 years, now applied as an assistant coach, I think is going to help this team greatly. Filling in to those leadership roles are going to be guys like Vince Gravino, who we just heard talk, Billy Jacoby, another attacker for the Griffs offense. He's somebody who's going to step into an even greater role. But as far as losses go, there really weren't that much, and that's not to undermine the seniors from last year at all, but that was a young team, and they're only looking to improve with the guys who are returning.
So should we expect, I mean, a young team gets a year older. Is it only natural to expect that the results are going to improve on the field?
That's the natural progression. They were 2-4 in conference last season. I think it's no stretch at all to say, they'd improve by a win or 2. But everybody is a year older, a year stronger, and this is a team that really puts the work in to get better. Over the summer, so many guys were working hard. They're putting in all this extra time, and head coach Randy Mearns has this formula that he's gone over with me about every interview, where he derives that everybody has 4 to 6 extra hours in the day that they can do whatever they want with. And his team puts most of that time to improving on the field, whether it's running, whether it's lifting. I gave the example of Jimmy May, who is a big physical guy, and he spent the summer working on his stick skills. He came back, and all of a sudden, he's the entire package because he put in 20 minutes a day to get better. So yeah, part of it's they're getting older, they're going to get better naturally, but they're putting in the work too, and that's the part about this team that I think a lot of people are excited about.
So they're going to be working hard. How is it going to show on offense? What do you expect to see from this team offensively this year?
I expect even better years from Vince Gravino and Billy Jacoby, the 2 guys I mentioned. Gravino already had 4 goals in their 9-3 victory over Boston University. That was a first-year program. It was a game they should have won, but he was outstanding, and he should put up those kind of numbers on a game-to-game basis. Billy Jacoby will be good as well. But I think that those guys will continue to develop. They're going to be good to start the year. They're going to be better at the end of the year.
So, guesstimate, prediction, where do these guys finish in the MAC?
They're not going to win the regular season title, but they're going to get back into the tournament. I have a lot of faith in saying that. Just seeing how hard they've worked, I know what Coach Mearns can do with a group of guys who works as hard as they do. And they're excited. They think they're going to get back there. I see no reason for me or anybody else to think that they can't.
Absolutely. It seems destined for improvement.
And coming up, I'll be rejoined by Roxy Hernandez. Jordan, great job hosting a segment. That was beautiful.
Thank you. I try my hardest. I'm a print guy, though. So
He's just a print guy, but you're watching #Griff Sports. Coming up, our top play and Golden Performer of the Week. Take a guess at who that might be. And we're back. You're watching #Griff Sports, and here's some Griffs action to look forward to this week. Let's start with hockey, Rox.
Coming up for the Ice Griffs, they'll play a home-and-home against Robert Morris on, is that Friday?
That's the 21st and 22nd. That's Friday and Saturday, absolutely. And moving on to women's basketball now. They'll take on Siena. That's Thursday night. And they will also take on Iona on the road this week.
Griffs track will be competing in the MAC championships on Friday in New York City, and swimming and diving teams will compete against Wheaton College twice over the weekend.
And lastly, softball will travel down to Kentucky. They'll play Miami of Ohio, Western Kentucky, Belmont, and Bradley. And Roxy, it's that time again at the end of the show. Who is this week's Golden Performer of the Week?
Surprise, surprise. It's Billy Barron for the third time in 5 weeks. Barron averaged 37 points in the Griffs' 2 victories last weekend, scoring a career-high 40 in the triple overtime win at Siena, and also pulling down another career best with 10 rebounds.
And lastly, this week's top play, it was number 7 on SportsCenter the night it happened last Friday. I figure we have to show it here. Barron driving baseline against the Purple Eagles, gets hit in the air, but gets the reverse layup to go anyway. He just will not be denied. A smooth score there from the Griffs point guard. So this has been #Griff Sports. Kyle Ferrara, Roxanne Hernandez next to me, and you can find us online, griffintv.net. Make sure to look for us on Facebook. Just type in #Griff Sports in the search bar. On Twitter, @GriffSports4. One lucky new follower will win CJ Gates. You can just have him. He's a swell guy.
Have a good night, everybody.
That's fantastic.